I want to bring back Natalie Beisner, Katie Zachariah, and Lauren Wright. Also joining us, Israeli Special Ops veteran Aaron Cohen. And I think it's important, Aaron, just to kind of go over because, you know, the chief of police, Jim McDonnell of Los Angeles, said that his troops, his police officers were overwhelmed in some of these riots. And I'm wondering, do you change your tactics? Do you add more police officers? We know that every single police officer in Los Angeles is on deck tonight because it's all hands on deck, Aaron.
Well, I can tell you this, Trace. If this was happening overseas right now in, say, Baghdad, and one of our embassies was getting overrun by locals and torching military vehicles, this would be an act of terrorism. But because of the political optics and all the nonsense that's happening, there's unclear messaging coming out from the LAPD and from these agencies, because you got federal on one hand coming in aggressive, the guards now rolling in, you've got Marines from Pendleton on standby. But really what I'm seeing here is there's no clear rules of engagement. And I can tell you that from sources of mine inside Los Angeles law enforcement, I'm not going to name who, they have told me that there's been several occasions where they have been justified to use lethal force but haven't. And the reason why is because they're trying to keep this thing on the reins, pulled back, de-escalating. But local politicians who want to de-escalate, it's creating this tactical trap. And so officers are stuck between optics and survival, Trace.
Yeah. I want to play, on that note, I want to play Attorney General Pam Bondi. She's talking about this concept of saying you can't run, you can't hide. She said the following to Sean Hannity.
So you can run, you can't hide. We are coming after you federally. If you assault a police officer, if you rob a store, if you loot, if you spit on a police officer, we're coming after you.
Coming after you, Aaron. I mean, that's the whole thing. You look at the crowd kind of gathering here in Santa Ana. It has grown just in the past couple of minutes that we've been watching this. It is also our understanding that it's growing in downtown Los Angeles. But when you talk about police officers now trying to get some backing, because that's in essence what they're doing, Aaron, they need some backing. It didn't appear as if they were getting it. Newsom didn't want any help from the outside, didn't want any help from the federal government. And it appears to me that the police chief in Los Angeles was like, man, we could use a little bit of help.
Trace, there's so many fluid pieces that are rolling around here. I agree with you on everything you just said. One, there's real-time coordination being used, and Bill Malugin talked about it, via various encrypted apps. And so groups are using Telegram and Signal and these like mesh networks to stay one step ahead of law enforcement. So they're in the back, and then they're attacking law enforcement, throwing some type of incendiary devices, firecrackers, to try and escalate and keep them on edge, and then dipping back. They're disappearing and then re-emerging. And so they're playing this guerrilla warfare game, tactics that you would almost see in a Hamas playbook playing out on the streets here in Los Angeles. Then you've got the intentional doxing and targeting of ICE and LAPD officers who are out there trying to respond, and they're stretched thin. The intel sharing must be a nightmare right now because this thing is unfolding real time, and you've got multiple agencies in the same operational space with decentralized coordination is a term I'm going to use. You've got the feds doing one thing with their operation, LAPD and LASD on another page. You've got Chief McDonnell, who's doing his best, but I'm like, Karen Bass and Newsom, and you know me, Trace, I don't really get political, but the moment the leadership of this city starts taking operational command and bending the rules for political will, you're putting law enforcement lives in danger. And as a reserve deputy for 17 years, I take personal offense to that. It's dangerous, and it's going to get a cop killed.
Yeah. And on that note, Natalie, I want to play this soundbite because this is Mayor Karen Bass on what she calls the level of fear in Los Angeles. Watch.
I can't emphasize enough the level of fear and terror that is in Angelenos right now, not knowing if tomorrow or tonight it might be where they live, it might be their workplace. Should you send your kids to school? Should you go to work? And you remember this from several years ago, this same type of fear that was going around.
And there might be fear, Natalie, but she's ginning up the fear. These politicians are the ones ginning up the fear, not the ICE agents.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And also, I mean, I don't know why there's fear unless you're here illegally. But I guess if you're believing the narrative that they're rounding up citizens and just rounding up anyone who looks illegal, then you would have some fear. But what about, like, the fear of Angelenos? Because I don't know as much as Aaron does, but as an Angelino, no matter what side of the immigration issue you fall on, watching that press conference from the police chief last night where he said we're overwhelmed, they're shooting commercial-grade fireworks at us. And I watched yesterday as ABC7 reported when they took over the freeway that LAPD was tapped out of resources. They couldn't respond to calls. So it's very alarming and kind of fearful of what's actually happening here. We're hearing different things from everybody.